Just been talking to my friend Rob about writing a book together, and I thought I'd show you how the brain really likes to structure information when writing a book. So I'm going to go into the middle of the mind map now, just click on that to put in the title. And this book is going to be on accelerated learning. Oop. We'll work on a catchy title soon. Now I'm a right-hand writer, which means that a mind map for me works very much like a clock, clockwise. Left-handed people I've found over the years find it much easier to go anti-clockwise. No way is better than the other. You choose the preference to match your hand dominance. And if you're ambidextrous, good luck. Boom, boom. So what I'm looking for is 7 steps in the accelerated learning process and 3 supports. That's the ideal structure. So I'm going to cheat because I know the subject very well. But for me, the first step, and in fact I'll number it to make it really clear, is mindset. So as I'm working out the structure of my book, I might do the topics first. This is iMindMap, by the way. Excellent piece of software. I'll explain all these when we get to the finer points of the 3s. So here I have a neat 7-step process that actually spells the word message, M-E-S-S-A-G-E, as like another layer of mnemonic strengthening. So let's just make that as big as possible. So if you're going to learn anything quicker, my 3 points under mindset is you need to do a baggage check-in first of all, because most people have, well, we all have a capacity of 7 plus or minus 2 units of attention in our working memory. That's how much you can carry in your working memory before your brain crashes. But you don't come to any task actually clean and clear of that clutter. So this is like a bit of feng shui for the head. What you have to do is park the stuff that's distracting you first. So I might go baggage, and then I could expand that chapter into how you park that baggage and some other headings there. What I'm aiming for though is this very clear 7-to-3 ratio. Second thing you need to do is think about your environment. So there's all sorts of wonderful things you can do to make learning easy by working with your environment. And the third thing, not necessarily in any order here, is have a clear goal for your learning, because our psychology tunes into this wonderful radio station, WII-FM. What's in it for me? And then on entrance, the only way into your brain is through your senses, and the 3 big ones are visual, what you see, what you hear, and I'm going to say here feel. Now I mean feel in 2 ways here. I do mean touch, but I also mean emotion. So any learning that's positively emotionally charged will stick in the brain, and actually any learning that's negatively emotionally charged will stick very powerfully in the brain. It's quite sad, really. So if you can see it, hear it, and feel it, the more ways you teach yourself something, the more you will reach. So Colin Rose, the guru on accelerated learning, so the more ways you teach, the more people you reach. If you can see it, hear it, and feel it, you get VHF there, which is a very high frequency in radio language. You'll have a very high frequency of engagement. Now, if you're writing a book, this is an excellent structure too, because if you can capture the imagination of your readers, if they can hear the rich tones and description, and if you can move them physically and emotively, then you will have captured your audience. Share ownership is an interesting one, because actually there are 7 sub-parts to this one, and you can actually get away with that if you nest 7s within 7s or 3s within 3s. A bit like Russian dolls. So as long as there's an organising principle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, your brain can still cope with it without crashing. And this is multiple intelligence. So some of us have musical intelligence, linguistic intelligence, mathematical, logical. Visual spatial intelligence is a bit different from a visual preference at the entrance phase. This is how you process the stuff. So a mind map is a very good example of visual spatial intelligence. So I'm actually taking something I know this model very well, and I'm using a visual spatial technique now to act on what I know. Likewise, physical intelligence is different to the feel and touch and emotion here. So we have wonderful words like manipulation, literally use your hands to understand something. A plumber and a sculptor and a surgeon have physical intelligence. So it's not that they're taking the information in, they already know the information. What they're doing is they're processing that information. And then there are two personal intelligences. There's intrapersonal, which is your reflective intelligence, and your social intelligence, interpersonal. So some people got told off at school because they talked in class, which is actually a great example of interpersonal intelligence. And some people got told off at school because they daydreamed in class, which is a fabulous example of reflective or intrapersonal intelligence. Some people got told off in class because they fidgeted in class and banged on the tabletops. That's a good example of physical intelligence used to learn stuff. People got told off for doodling. Doodling gets a very bad name, but doodling is a great way. Didactic doodling is a great way to learn anything. Mathematical, logical intelligence you usually got rewarded for, as you did with linguistic, but Lord help you if you sang in class, if it wasn't a music lesson. All these things are fabulous ways. So if you were in your iPod in class, in those days, you would have got told off, whereas in fact we know now that linking your learning to music is a powerful way to engage the brain. Store means to make it sticky. So you might use a mind map is a great way of memorizing. They were memory maps originally. You might use mnemonics. So message, M-E-S-S-A-G-E, is an example of a mnemonic. And whatever you do, you will need to make it stick by using other memory systems such as stories. And you might see that there's a flow here in time that makes it easier to remember as well. So you keep mindset throughout the whole system, but you'll see that store naturally flows from here. This one, the intelligence is definitely easily flowed from the input preferences. And then as we go into act and then go again, you'll see the links to store. This is about confidence as well as competence. And you do that by catching yourself getting the learning right, catching yourself using the learning. So what I'll often do is a game show in a workshop so that the participants can answer the questions, and as they're answering the questions and getting them right, they're going, yes, I can do this. Go again is very interesting because we start moving from short-term memory through the store phase into long-term memory. It's like going again over a path in a cornfield. The more times you do it, it becomes a path of least resistance. So you need to rehearse what you've learned. You need to reflect on it, which of course links into the intrapersonal intelligence, and you need to review it over a time scale. And there are actually multiple review points, which I won't go into here on this tutorial video. This is just to show you how easy it is to write a book. And then engage is all about the future. And what we use in accelerated learning is something called memories of the future, where you do a future scenario where you can imagine yourself applying what you've learned. And because it then has deep relevance, it will stick in your mind. So a tool here is visualization. So in the time it's taken to do that mind map, obviously I do know the content. You've got your structure for a book. Voila!